the Bitchy Quill.
Hello, I'm Heather, also known as HL Brooks,
I'm Cardyn Brooks.
and we are the hosts of the Bitchy Quill. And we decided that we've had enough bad news. We know it's still out there. We know it's not going away, but we're going to talk about good news only today. It's sort of inspired by V from Under the Desk News when she does banana shirts, good news
Yes,
only.
yes, yes.
We're doing the Bitchy Quill Good News Only episode because we just need a little bit of joy and a little bit of fun. So, one of the things that happened yesterday for me was I finally finished my book I've been working on for for I've been trying to finish that book for over 2 years.
Yeah.
It's just been really hard between being a caretaker and a new grandmother and
Working full
just
time for somebody
working full
else.
time and just one thing after the other. And I've tried so hard. I had a few pre-orders on that book, and I shut the pre-orders off when all the dominoes started to fall. And I said, I can't. I
Right.
gotta make sure that I get this done because I don't want to disappoint people. I hate that. But I felt so good yesterday. I spent 2 days straight. I did about 7,000 words to finish it off. And
Yay.
it's the first draft is done. It's got to go get edited.
Yeah.
And so I'm very excited about that. That it's just it's felt like somebody's been kind of waiting for me, like people have been kind of like, okay, we're and now I
Right.
finally met the goal. So that's one bit of good news.
That's a great, great start.
I'm gonna check that one off because I made a little list
Yes.
because I knew that I would get overwhelmed and forget things. So
Plus, it's great to have so much good news that you need to make a list.
yeah, I mean, I while I was in the shower earlier, I was like trying to think of all the things I wanted to be excited about because it is harder right now for me. I'm sure other people feel that way, but it's been harder for me to enjoy joy, like even feel
Right, right,
joy.
right, right, right.
So the fact that I had enough space in my brain to even do this book and finish it
Yeah,
finally.
yeah.
It's called The House on Blue Raven Lane. It's a witchy sort of mystery. Think sort of Bewitched meets Murder She Wrote meets
Ooh,
Scooby-Doo, it's
oh,
that
I love
kind of
it.
a
I
thing.
love that. I love that.
So it's got a cast of mostly women. And it's fun, but I just had a hard time writing the past. When I did feel like writing, there was always other things I had to do. And of course, the book fest last year
Yeah.
was a huge drain on my daily life leading up to it. So
Of course.
I had no time to write. So I'm really happy about that.
That's
Yay!
that's worth celebrating. That's fantastic.
And you're working on some stuff, right?
I am. So during in 2020, I actually had this idea for a polyamorous erotic novel, and I pretty much wrote it that year. And then I might have submitted to one, I think I submitted it to one small publisher and got a rejection. And I didn't feel heartbroken about it, but I was like, let me just put it away and come back to it.
Hmm.
So I did that. I came back to it in 2023 and I realized like, oh, I really like this. And I really worked on it consistently for consecutive months. But I didn't submit it anywhere because I was thinking, I was like, it's kind of quirky, not in a rom-com way, but I write in thematically linked scenes because I don't like filler. Because as a reader, I skip over filler. Like if you tell me it's a cottage, I'll read a few sentences to get an idea of the cottage, and then I don't
Right.
need any more. And then
Right.
I
You've
yeah,
built that cottage.
yeah. So, and I know part of it. I've read different stuff over the years, whereas they're saying um, people who read a lot are more likely to be that kind of reader where like I don't need like I read a lot, so I'm like, just give
Well,
me
your blog is the Blurty Binge Reader,
right. So anyway, bottom line
appropriately
is,
named.
so I looked at 2023 and I really liked it, but I didn't submit it anywhere and I shelved it again. And then more recently, I pulled it out and I was like, oh, I really, really like this. And I know part of the reason I brought it out is because, are you proud of me? I waited like 10 minutes to mention Heated Rivalry.
So you got to tell now. You got to give me the Heated Rivalry scoop because I think I am the only woman in the romance book world right now that has not watched it. You're gonna have to give me the scoop.
So let me back up a little bit to the series. So I actually read, it's at this point it's 6 books in the Game Changer series, and I've always liked hockey romance, whether it's MMF, whatever, polyamorous, whatnot, because hockey's not my thing. I've been to a few professional hockey games and a few my bestie from high school, her two younger brothers were big into hockey, so I've been to a few youth hockey games and I enjoyed it, but I don't like being cold. So that's and so
That's part of it, I think.
I know it was so funny because what I remember is any game, professional or youth, I remember being the most bundled up person. I might have been the only Black person in the stand, but also the most bundled up person.
They're also going, I don't like being cold.
I'm like, I don't, anyway, I'm all over the place. But I actually read, I think, most of the Game Changer books in 2020 during the pandemic. And I remember thinking, I was like, oh, I really enjoyed these. And in general, I enjoy hockey romance. So, bottom line is, when the series came out, I was a little side eye-ish because I'm like, so often, especially with romance adaptations, you can tell it gets adapted by people who don't read romance or don't appreciate romance or think it's like whatever. And the first thing I noticed from the very beginning of watching Heated Rivalry, the show, is that I was like, whoever, because I'd never heard of Jacob Tierney before, but I was like, whoever adapted this enjoys romance, and respects romance readers and fans. And so then seeing him in subsequent interviews, I was like, oh, well, clearly this is true, the way he talked about it. And anyway, I would just say also watch the Jacob Tierney interviews because
Okay.
it's so, for you as a creative person, I
Hmm.
think you would really enjoy that.
Okay.
That said, it's beautiful too, like, because he's the director, and
Hmm.
so I'm not a cinematography person or anything like that, but everything is so beautifully integrated, like the light, room numbers for hotels, like everything,
It's
like
probably a good art director.
I would think so. I think people who are
I
experts in,
appreciate
like,
a good art
yeah.
director.
So I think you would enjoy it on every level. I think you would enjoy it because you're a storyteller who appreciates good storytelling and the crafting of characters and story arcs and sub stories and all that. But I also think visually you would enjoy it because it is very, you can always reel me in. So let me say this, which is I saw an interview a couple weeks ago, I think, where it was Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were talking about whatever their current show is, that when they were pitching it to the network executives, they were saying, you have to make sure that the dialogue says what the characters are doing because people are on their phones while they're watching shows. And so instead of saying, "Oh, make sure you make a show compelling enough to draw people's full attention to watching the show," they're trying to accommodate the fact that they're assuming that viewers aren't watching the show. And when you watch Heated Rivalry, all 6 episodes, clearly they're like, "You're watching this show. You're paying attention. You're not doom scrolling
I
on your
feel like
phone."
Bridgerton's like that. I feel like
I think
Bridgerton
so.
doesn't think you're looking at your phone.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. So anyway, I just think it's just so it's good in every way.
Mhm.
And I will say this, typically, like 99% of the time, I usually enjoy the book more than whatever adaptation.
Mhm.
And this is, let me be clear, this is not a knock against Rachel Reed. It's just that the show is exceptional,
Mhm.
and I don't wanna oversell it because I don't want
Mhm.
you to be disappointed, but I don't think you'll be disappointed just from what I know about you as an artist and as a person.
I'm one
Um
of those people. I actually like movies and television as much as I like books. I I do think that there are some books that are not adapted well to the screen, but
Right.
they're, I think, a good example of a movie and a book that is supposed to be the same story but are very different.
Yeah.
But that I like the movie and I like the book is
Yeah.
Practical Magic.
Oh,
Like the
yeah, yeah.
movie's nothing like the book, really. I
Right.
mean, not nothing,
No, 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 but it's,
but the
yes, but
source
there's
material,
the
the book is
distance
a source
between,
material. Yeah.
right, the distance between, so they maybe in a way they kind of exist independently in a way,
Hmm.
like just the
They
book.
have the same
Oh,
DNA, but they're
yeah,
very different
yeah,
creatures. And I definitely think the other thing that's cool about a production is when you have a writer who's writing this whole world, you're just really, seeing it through their eyes. Whereas when you have a adaptation, you're seeing it through the eyes of many creatives, costumers and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
directors and actors and their interpretations of the characters. I have written a play once that we did a reading on, and the actor who read one of the characters, I was like, oh, he read that totally different than I saw it in my head,
Mm.
but I loved it.
Yes,
So
yes,
I think that that can bring something really interesting and exciting if people don't skimp on it, on the production
right.
quality. And it sounds like they did not skimp
They
on the
didn't
production
skimp.
quality.
And so what I will say this a little more specifically, one reason that I think for me personally that the adaptation of the show works even better for me than the books is because Jacob Tierney's concept of like black and brown people um resonates as more authentic to me. So I
Hmm.
have to give Rachel Reed all the credit for the fact that so often, even in the 21st century, mainstream romance novels, especially meaning when mainstream is a synonym for Anglo white centric,
Hmm.
it's still not uncommon to have no black or brown characters
Hmm.
featured at all. And
Yeah.
and it can go either way because sometimes authors are excluding because they don't want to offend because they don't know enough and they don't have the time or the interest in research or whatnot. But you and I've talked about this before where I said my preference as a reader is if you don't know any non-white people then and then you try to write about them, that's worse than if you exclude
Yeah.
non-white characters. So anyway, but
Yeah.
part of the reason that I know personally that I enjoy the show even more than the books is because Jacob Tierney has a good touch, a good feel for all, fleshing out all
Hmm.
kinds of characters in a way that's like, oh, he writes or he's presenting this as if he knows all kinds of people as multidimensional, multifaceted, full-fledged humans, and
Hmm.
that's very refreshing.
Hmm.
But yeah, so it's all the
I'm
feels, and
looking
I
forward to it. I'm
yeah,
gonna save it
mhm,
for a binge, like
okay.
I'm gonna let I like that's how I prefer
Yes,
to
yes.
do
I didn't
anything.
start watching it till all 6 episodes were available,
I
and that
get
was the
mad
other thing, yeah, go
I get mad when I start a show that is mid release. I'm like, oh,
I know.
I watched it too
Yes,
soon.
yes, yes, but I waited till the 6th Friday to
Okay.
start watching
So
so that I
they're
could.
all out right now for
They're
this
all, yes, they're
season.
all out.
Okay.
This morning, Rachel Reed did an announcement. I don't know if I said this to you that she has Parkinson's.
Mm-mm.
So she does, and understandably, with the spotlight and the schedule, she shared that that's aggravated her
Oh,
symptoms a bit. So originally, the 7th book in the series, Unrivaled, the pub date was, I think, September of this year.
mm-hmm.
But this morning she shared that for a variety of reasons, her health being one of them, um, the pub date is pushed to June 2027.
Mm.
And I saw the cutest thing, and this was a influencer I wasn't familiar with, but she did this cute video where she said, "Yes, we're disappointed, but what we're not going to do is bitch about it." Or I'm paraphrasing. She's like, "We're
Right.
just going to be happy that Rachel Reed is prioritizing her health and doing the thing that's best for her." So I shared that too because I was like, I feel that way too. Of course, as a fan and a reader, I'm disappointed, but it looks like if the book is pushed to 2027, it might come out after season 2 of the show,
Okay.
which will be interesting. So
Hmm.
anyway, okay, so let me stop because I'll make this whole good news thing about Heated Rivalry. But bottom line is, you and the other 10 people in the world who haven't watched Heated Rivalry yet should watch it.
I know, especially in the romance
Yes,
space.
whatever
Like,
you're
I'm the
going
only
through,
one,
it
literally.
feels so it's such a good it's just if you just want to feel good, if you're a person that appreciates and enjoys romance,
Hmm.
it's just so good.
Hmm.
It's just that is a good thing. So when I was, I see the edits and the other people talking about, because I think there's a podcast called Loon Call because the loon is pivotal in the series.
Okay.
And when people talk about their obsession and how many times they've rewatched it and all the different stuff, I'm like, I feel you. I feel you. So that's my thing. That's my go-to. I have to like pace myself. I'm like, nope, don't get online because it'll
Yeah,
be
I mean,
too
everybody's
ugly.
talking about it. I'm trying to not
Right,
read
right,
because I'm
right,
always afraid I'm going to get a spoiler.
right, right. And yes, yes.
So,
But
yeah.
yeah, no, I
I've
totally
been
support.
I don't think I have the streaming I think I
Mm,
tried to watch it like the second or third episode when people were just like freaking
yeah,
out about it.
yeah.
And I don't think I have the streaming service. So I was like,
Okay,
oh, I'm going to watch the shows that I'm already into
okay.
and I'm going to save this to binge on it and
Yeah.
I'll have to dive into that to whatever streaming service
And I
that
think for
was.
you and your husband, I think it's a show. I mean, it's super sexy, but it's as emotionally intimate as it is sexually explicit. And I think it's
Okay.
that combination in addition to all the other stuff
It just
that's
makes
so
it.
beautiful. Yes, yes, it's so you're like, "Oh my god, why am I crying?" But it's also really funny and sweet and tender and awkward and all the things. I think you and your husband would enjoy it. I
Oh
think
yeah.
you all would enjoy watching it together.
We have been the shows we just recently watched, and I think they're one of them came up to their sixth episode already in this,
Okay.
or maybe it was 10 episodes. I can't remember how many episodes it was, but I just watched the Man on the Inside with Ted Danson. It's kind of
Oh,
comedic,
oh,
and
okay.
he is like a detective. He becomes a detective in his old age after his
Yeah.
wife passes
Mm,
away, and it's fun and it's
mhm.
funny and it's got this big cast of characters. And somebody kind of had a negative criticism about it for the I think it's in its second season. I can't even remember now. But uh that yeah, that they
Mhm.
didn't I think it's in its second that they didn't know what to do with all those people and they tried to drag them all back in the storyline. But that's one of the things I liked
Right,
about it.
right, right,
It
right.
didn't feel so engineered.
Yes.
It was like I like all of these. In fact, Will said, "Oh, I'm so glad they brought that guy back because I
Yeah.
really liked him." So, um, we just were watching that because it's like a 40-minute or 45,
Mhm.
however long it is, and it's just light and airy,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
drama in it is low drama. It's
Yes.
not
Yes.
life or death drama. But then we also started watching Riot Women on BritBox.
Okay.
It's about this midlife punk slash rock
Oh, I
band.
think I saw the trailer for that.
It is the best show I've seen in a long
Oh.
time. I have cried
Mm,
almost every episode,
okay.
sometimes twice an
Oh, wow.
episode. It is light on the black people. I will say that. It's got um it's the ones shot in England. That's not an
Mhm.
excuse. I'm just
No,
saying
no.
it's
Yeah.
an English production.
Yeah.
It's through BritBox. And the other one is shot in California, and so it has some Latinx
Right, right,
representation.
right.
But yeah, but Riot Women is really it taps into a lot of the feelings that women deal with, and it taps into a lot of the invisibility you feel after you reach a certain age.
Mm.
And they sing songs about your period and about menopause and hormone replacement therapy. And but at the same time, there's some just trigger warning. There is
Okay.
some very serious
Okay.
other stuff that women deal with on a regular
Right.
basis
Right.
that's
Right.
also being addressed.
Right.
But Will and I we're both sitting on the couch.
No, but
It's
then that's good, right? Because it means it's touching some, you know what I mean? Like you're not, it's more than just entertainment if it's drawing that out of you.
mm,
Yeah. But along those lines, it does feel like as a society, maybe even globally, we've turned a corner because you and I've talked about like just being Melanie with the We Do Not Care Club for women in perimenopause, menopause, and
right.
postmenopause. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime you've got Halle Berry, on a regular daytime talk show talking about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, menopause, and then you've got, who did I just
Yeah.
see? Not just Naomi Watts, but there was somebody else more recently, and they'll come to me later. But to normalize it. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I know. Jeannie Mai, I think, has some kind of documentary or something where she talks to her mom, and I think other women, but she asks her mom different questions about when did you start menopause, and Jeannie Mai was saying that that conversation she's having with her mom never would have had with Jeannie Mai's grandmother. Like,
Right.
talking about just what the natural evolution of life is instead of acting like it's this big horrible thing.
Right. I mean, they make you afraid of menopause. And
Right. But what's the
actually,
alternative? You're dead and then you don't have to worry about
it's
it?
it's just a natural part of it's because of this use of sex culture. We
Yeah.
won't get into that right now because this is
Right,
the
right.
good
No,
news
no, it's
only
all
episode,
positive.
but we
No,
know
but
why.
yes. Yeah, yeah, but the positive part is that public conversation of
Yeah,
removing like the stigma or the shame or the whatever.
right.
And so I feel really excited for our generation, but also for the younger generations coming behind us that hopefully this is one less thing for them to have to navigate or feel isolated in.
Yeah, and they're talking about how they're trying to bring heroin chic back, but the reality is that there's just a lot of different body representation
Yeah,
now that didn't in all kinds of
yeah.
media, and they don't. It's not going to have the pull it had
Right,
when we
right.
were growing up. That
Yes.
whole heroin chic sort of,
Yeah. Well,
which I hate that terminology, but
anytime you've
that's
got like oh, I think her name is Ashley, forgive me if that's not her name, but it's the one Peloton curvaceous Peloton
Ashley Graham.
instructor.
Is
No, no,
she the
no.
model?
Not Ashley Graham, even though she's
Also a
bit of
plus
that
size.
change. But there's a Peloton instructor that's super popular, and I'm sorry, I just can't
Oh,
remember her name, but she has a great attitude. She's so fit. She's really flexible. She's really encouraging. Like her whole vibe is like, you can do it, but not in like a flighty way, but like you can do it. And look, here I'm doing it, and let me show you, some modifications or, pace
hmm,
yourself or blah, blah, blah. So I think you are correct. That's a whole rambling thing to say that I agree with you in terms of what people are trying to bring back. We know too much, so it doesn't ring in the same way, because I feel like the overarching theme is not just body positivity or whatnot, but there is this recurring message of who are you? Like what's going to work for you? What's healthy for you? And you might not know that answer right now, but here's some steps to try to figure it out. And hey, some things might be a bust, but okay, so then you cross that off the list, like that's not for me.
right. Right. And you just have access to so much more information than you
Yeah.
did. I mean, in some ways it's not good because it means you're exposed to these filters and
Yes.
the dysmorphic body situation
Yes.
is even worse. But um when I was on the internet in the early days of the
Yeah.
internet, I was one of the few plus size people
Mm,
posting
yeah.
plus size art and plus
Yeah.
size
Yeah.
clothes and plus size,
Yeah.
and we're talking late 90s. And,
Yeah.
it just didn't, there was just very few
Right.
plus size people on the internet, and
Mhm.
now you've got aging women
Mhm.
and gray-haired women
Yeah.
and thin women and
Yes. Yeah.
women who have very small busts,
Yeah.
and you know that, like, that used to be the thing you never wanted when when I was growing up. You
Right.
wanted big boobs, you
Right.
know, that you just that was the goal, is to be skinny but have big
Right.
boobs.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like, it's what the girls,
Yeah.
11, 12-year-old girls, when we talked, we do, I must,
Yes. Yes. It must
I
increase my
must.
bust. Yes.
So I mean, that was just something that you were told that was
Yes. And
the
also
thing you
told
wanted,
in right, told in words and in images, right?
and
Like
in
not
images, yeah.
like nonverbal
Oh
to
yeah.
what body types were praised.
And
But
then MTV was very
yes,
visual. They
yes,
had a very specific aesthetic. So
yes.
that specific aesthetic was not
Yeah.
just in movies anymore, and it wasn't
Right,
just in
right,
men's magazines,
right, right.
but it was in the music industry now that you were
Yeah,
being fed that as well. So
yeah.
I think that it's exciting that we have a lot more. I love that my Instagram feed gets filled up with chunky women in
Yes,
bikinis, and
yes,
you know,
yes.
that kind of thing, just like showing me, oh, there's a bikini I
Yeah.
never could have found when I
Right,
was
right. Oh, most definitely.
yeah, I mean, when I just remember when I was 18, and I was looking for a prom dress, and I was a size like between a 16 and an 18.
Yeah.
I had to go to like the wedding store and get special
Mm,
bridesmaids.
mm.
It's just, you know,
Right.
it wasn't easy to
Right,
just go in
right,
and
you
buy
weren't
off
just
the
walking in
rack.
the store and finding having,
Right.
from range up to, like, size 26 or whatnot, yeah.
Right. So anyway,
Yeah, yeah, no.
Riot Women taps into all of those feelings and upset, and also the kind of relationships that women have to navigate a lot of the times,
Yeah.
especially in a man's, because two of the women were police officers, and so it's a really good show.
Okay, I'll add that to my list.
It's got tough content, but
Okay,
it also has amazing acting,
okay.
just amazing.
Okay,
So
so that one's Riot Women
right, and then A Man on the Inside,
and A Man on the Inside. No,
which is
that sounds
like,
good.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
snack, cuddle
Right, right,
couch, you know,
right,
you
right,
watch,
right, right.
it's fun.
Depending on what you're in the mood for. I'm trying to
Right.
think. It's like visually, it really has been my whole thing has been Heated Rivalry.
Yeah.
So on another one last Heated Rivalry thing that I just thought was so cool, which I also think as a creative person in multiple media, um, you will appreciate, which is so many fans have done these really great edits with really great song choices and just been mesmerizing. And one of the fans who did a particularly popular edit, HBO Max reached out to her and now she works for them doing edits and stuff. And I think specifically for Heated Rivalry, but it might be more than that. But
That's
it was
awesome.
so cute, her little post about, like, it doesn't seem real, and I was like, "Oh, if that's not the universe, like, rewarding you for doing the
Mhm.
thing that you love, I don't know what is." So,
That's so important too, and you can get sidetracked as an artist trying to do the thing that you think people want instead of the
mhm.
thing that you love.
Yeah.
That's a lesson right there, and
Yeah.
go ahead and do the thing you
Yeah.
love. I love that story. I saw that you also, stayed on Heated
Yes,
Rivalry
yes,
here,
yes.
that for Valentine's Day, or around Valentine's Day, on your Instagram, I saw like a hockey jacket with a heart or something that you made. Was that
Oh,
related?
yeah. So, one of the things in Heated Rivalry is they're at the Olympics, and so the character Shane Hollander is Canadian, and in the show, the Canadian team wears this white fleece jacket with red trim and, like, maple leaves on the sleeves,
Okay.
and
Okay.
so they were the Canadian fleece. And so, as soon as that episode released, people were like, "We want that fleece. Are they going to sell that fleece?" Blah, blah blah. And then it became they did like a campaign, release the fleece, and
Release the
so
fleece.
I think so ultimately, and I don't know if it's for sale because I yet, but I think they have started taking pre-orders. They ultimately did say they were going to release the fleece. Now we can't get it in the United States because tariffs. They're not going to sell it here, and they're not going to send it here, and I don't blame them for that. But I was like, okay, my fandom is out of control, and I'm just gonna admit that. But the next day, I went running errands, and I looked in the clearance, and it was a cream colored, it wasn't fleece because I'm at the period in my life where I can't wear fleece unless it's like 50 degrees below 0 because I will burst into flames.
Okay.
But it was a smooth, like, cotton blend, and it wasn't a full zip, it was like 3/4, and I was like, "Oh," because I can sew, and I was like, "I could put red ribbon and do a tab, and I could put hearts instead of maple leaves," and I already had a love, patch, and then I had letters and red paint, so I was like,
I saw that on your Instagram and I knew you were in deep. And I was like, I loved it because I was like, I miss just doing a craft for the heck of fun.
yeah,
I seem to always be doing them for um
it's a particular
as
business thing,
products
yeah.
or but I miss doing it like just so I've started doing crochet in the evening.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's my
I'm
I'm
so intimidated by crochet and knitting. Like, I'm impressed by people who do it and, like, when they show
crochet
the
is the
different stuff they've
easier, I
made.
think,
Okay.
and it's really easy. Well,
Okay.
at least the single stitch that I'm doing right now.
Okay.
I'm just doing a single stitch right in a row, right in a row, right in a row. I'm
Okay.
not doing anything fancy,
Okay.
but I got me a bunch of yarn, and I have this thing about productivity. I have to always be productive, and I've
Yes.
tried to get rid of it, and I've tried to talk myself out of it, and I'll
Right.
be sitting on the couch binging a show, which is one of the things I just like to do to
Mhm.
unwind. And I have to constantly tell myself, you're allowed to sit here. You don't have to earn
Mhm.
your rest, whatever.
Right.
But there's still this little pot on the
Right.
tea kettle on the back of my brain
Yeah.
going, beep. And I'm like, okay. So when I crochet and I'm watching TV,
Yeah.
I'm being productive. I'm making somebody a scarf or I'm
Nice.
working on a
Yeah.
blanket. I want to make a big blanket for my bed. And I'm like,
Nice.
this is productivity. And it's also as you age, those kinds of things are really good for
Oh,
your
right,
brain.
for your yeah.
Yeah, you're keeping both sides of your brain working and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, but I
Yeah.
saw that and I was like,
Well,
this is the cutest thing.
thank you, and I wore it on I
Fun
went
with
on
it.
Valentine's Day because since it said love, and I was like, "Okay," and I was like, "Well, the Heated Rivalry fans will recognize the similarities and they'll
I
get
bet they
it."
will. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a great Valentine's Day, and, I ran some errands earlier in the day, and I got a few winks from some people like, "I like your jacket." I was like, "Thank you." So, that's my insanity. It's probably not the end of it though, because I also have the WoW patch, which you haven't watched it yet, so I'm not gonna tell you why that's
Okay.
significant. But yes, when you do binge it, some things will come clear to you.
Okay.
But yeah, so
I
yeah.
didn't
Oh, but
really
also,
oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
No,
I
only
re
thing I was gonna say about being productive, that when you were talking about that, my tie-in is part of the reason that I started the Blurty Binge Reader blog years ago was because I think was it when I got my because I've mostly self-published, independent published, but I've had two traditional contracts or one, at least one. It's all a haze because it was a little while ago. But my first traditional publishing contract, it was a small publisher, and they were like, "You need a social media, presence."
Mhm.
And I was like, "I don't want to. Like, that's just not. I'm antisocial." Anyway, so I was like, "What can I do that's consistent with who I am?" But then I can post about it. So I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, well, I'll do the blog because I'm a reader. I love to read. So
Mhm.
I'm going to do that anyway, and then I'll
How long
just."
have you had that blog?
I want to say at least 15 years,
Okay.
at least
That's a long
10, but
time.
I
Yeah.
think it's closer to 15 because I'm trying to remember when that contract was. And I was like, that's consistent with who I am.
Mhm.
And I felt like it would also help, because I tried, and especially in the beginning, I read a lot of like other independently published authors, a lot of small, books from small publishers and things like that, so that they at least have one
Mhm.
review from so, and not that I was not that it was a big deal, but it's like, "Oh, you have a review, you have it on Goodreads, here's a link to my blog," or whatnot. So
Right.
trying to do, like, a mutually beneficial situation.
Mhm.
So when you were talking about crocheting, like, that satisfies your thought about being productive,
Right.
that's how I am too about, like, reading,
Mhm.
because I love to read, and so then the blog is like, "Well, but I'm reading to blog
To
about it to,"
blog.
yes, to help another author, and
You
so
see
that's
how
how I
conditioned we are in this world to have to be
yes,
productive? It
yes,
worked.
yes,
Their
yes,
little plan worked because
yes,
we do have to give ourselves permission. And I
yes.
think that and anybody listening to this, you definitely should go to her blog, Blurty Binge Reader, on Blogspot.
Thank you.
And she's just stacks of
I
books
do
all
read a
the
lot.
time. And so if you're looking for a read,
Yeah.
go check out her blog for
I
sure.
read some nonfiction too. It's heavy on fiction, it's heavy on romance because that's my
That's
jam.
your jam.
But I try to read other things too, have a little bit of variety. But if romance is your thing, I think
Romance is your jam. That's
yeah,
okay.
it
You're
makes me
allowed.
happy.
I
Romance
didn't
makes
really
me
we didn't really do anything for Valentine's Day because Will had to work, but
okay.
we had breakfast together, I think,
Yeah.
and then we decided we were going to postpone Valentine's dinner to because he works evenings
Right.
usually
Right.
to the day that he was off during the week, and we were going to cook together
Right.
and make an Italian dinner
Yeah.
and have wine and play some Italian music. And because
Yes.
we're like, we're trying to be budget conscious like everybody
Yes.
else right now.
Yes.
And I was just like, let's just make a nice Italian dinner. I did record us making the dinner a bit because I
Nice.
just wanted to post about it, but
Yes.
we then went phone free for dinner
Yes. Nice.
because that was part of it too. Is like we're just gonna, and we weren't allowed to talk about
No, you're not
we
talking
could
about
only
work
talk
or
about
stressful
no
things.
politics,
Right,
no, we were
right,
had to just talk, not that he's feminist, it's not
right,
that. It's
right,
just
right,
that
right,
we just needed a break
right.
from the drama of the
Yes.
I mean, I know you know that. I just need everybody else
Yes,
to know
yes,
that.
yes, yes.
But it was nice. It was like it almost felt old-fashioned to sit at the table without your phone and just talk to each other
Eye
about something
contact.
pleasant.
Yes,
Yeah, it was like a date. We had a
yes,
date. And I told him I was like, I think we should try to do this once a week, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So I think we're going to do that. So our Valentine's Day was good. I had been at this book event. It went pretty well. It was organized by the author Mary
Oh,
Tillman,
right, right, right.
who you've met and who's been part of the Right Women Book Fest in the
Yeah,
past. And she had organized this little bitty get together
yeah.
at a place.
I saw some of your footage. It looked adorable.
It was a cute little shop, and we were just like in this little U shape there. We
Yeah.
were all squeezed in there, and we were all cozy. I got to meet a new friend, a new
Oh,
author friend,
yeah.
and it was nice. And I sold a few books, and people were there to meet authors and buy books and look at the stuff that was made there. It was called Simply Made
Mm,
Maryland,
okay.
or no, Simply Made
Okay,
Here
yeah,
at the shop
okay, the
in
shop is simply made
Catonsville.
here.
And
Yeah.
then the little book event was called Simply Written Here.
Oh, gotcha. Mhm.
And I think they're doing another one in May. I'm not going to participate with the May one.
Okay.
She was very nice and asked me back,
Yeah.
but I'm not doing May, but they will
Right.
probably have one in May.
Nice.
So if somebody wants to go check that out. But anyway, Will
Mm,
bought me a little present because he came with me and helped me set up, and he was wandering around the store, and
yeah.
he got me a little gift, and that was
Oh,
my Valentine's present that I got.
oh,
So I got that on Valentine's Day, and then we
okay.
had dinner together later in the week. I
That's
didn't get
nice,
him
like,
anything.
you
He's
extended it.
huh?
That's nice, like, you extended Valentine's Day
Yeah.
celebration.
It was a little extended. I didn't get him anything because I've just been too frazzled. But
Right.
also, generally, we consider it him a day to get me stuff.
I understand.
So, sort of like my birthday, second birthday, or something like that. But yeah, that was Valentine's was fun, and dinner was fun, and the day was a normal day for us.
Yeah.
But your little Valentine's jacket post I
Thanks.
was like, oh, I feel, I really loved when I was a kid doing, do you remember you get bring a shoebox into school and you pull a slit in the top and they give you doilies and glue and crayons and
Yes,
markers,
and then yes, yes,
make your mailbox and you'd put it on the
yes,
corner of your desk and then
yes,
everybody got a list to take home of everybody's name in the class
yes,
and you'd bring the Valentines in and drop
yes,
them in I just love that. I
yeah,
still love it. I would still do it if I could.
yeah. No, no, that's good memories, and um, yeah, I felt like I'd said in my post, like, when I found that cream colored jacket that was very similar in vibe to, the Canadian fleece in the show, I just felt like the universe is like, you want to do this." Like, because it was the only one, it was my size, it was the only one, and it was, like,
The
75%
angels
off.
sang and
Right,
a
it was like,
light ray
yeah, it was like
ray of light came
75%
down on
off
it.
too. I was like, "I couldn't buy it used for this." Like, like, from the thrift store. I was like, "I feel like the universe is saying, you wanna make this
That
jacket."
was meant for you.
Yeah.
It was
So,
100% meant for you.
but you were saying, so you did your book event. You and I are on the leadership committee for book fair at Bel Air
Right?
in, August 8th,
Yeah,
which
and I'll be attending
yeah,
author
yes, 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 you'll be
and
attending. So
yeah,
there's that.
that's a very nicely organized event, and they're upping up a level, and they're going into a
Mhm.
much bigger space
Yeah,
this year.
yeah.
And
And that one's free, I think, and now I can't remember, is it free, but you still sign up for tickets?
let me look
I
at the
I
website.
forget, but anyway, look up Book Fair at Bel Air because I know they have
I'll put
one.
the website
Okay,
link
gotcha.
down in the description
Yeah,
here.
yeah, so that's
Um,
August 8th,
to
and
all of
then
these things, to
yeah.
Blurty Binge Reader and
Oh,
to the book fair at Bel Air
yeah,
and if they have one, I don't think they have anything up like a
okay,
website or anything for
right.
the May event for Simply
Oh,
Written
Simply
here,
Made
but
here, okay.
yeah.
And then September is our
We have a big announcement.
yeah!
Big
Okay, you
announcement.
say it because I always forget exactly what the order of the words are for what we're calling
Uh,
it.
Women in Fiction. Well, it's Right Women Network presents Women in Fiction at Marietta House Museum.
Oh, right,
Just
but the and
calling
then
it Women in Fiction.
Marietta has updated their what they call themselves, so now they're Marietta Historic Site and Museum.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I
and
think
that's
I didn't
only
catch that I thought it was
yeah.
Marietta House Museum, but I think I
It
meant
was, that's what it was before.
oh,
Because
okay.
so, like, this change is recent, like, I think either towards
Okay.
the end of last year or the beginning of this year. I think they're trying to more reflect, like, the indigenous,
Okay.
and the formerly enslaved, like, I think they're doing it to kind of be more
Right.
like a research site, like, this is kind of our cultural evolution.
I
That
see.
that was the impression I got from the newsletter, because 'cause I'm on
Okay.
so,
Okay.
but yeah, Marietta Historic Site and Museum.
Okay. So Cardin's gonna keep us straight on these names because I'm gonna
That's
forget, but
okay because
yes,
I mean, it's really
you're
recent, and
right.
if I hadn't read it in the newsletter, I
Once I see it with my eyeballs, it might
yeah,
stick a little better.
yeah,
But okay, so that's gonna be September 19th.
okay,
11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it'll be alongside the regular farmers market that they have
okay,
there.
yeah.
And it'll be 25 authors.
Mm,
Currently, we are accepting author applications. It's free to be an author at this event. 20 spaces are held for authors who have three or less books, and then 5 spaces are held for authors with 4 or more books. So this is kind of gets back to the root of our original intention for the Right Women Book Festival, which kind of grew, and it did very well, and we had a great last year that we did our 6th year. I know that a lot of people have written and said, please do this book event again. We love this book event, but we probably won't ever do it. If we ever do the Right Women Book Fest again, it won't be that big. It'll be probably 50 authors or less, and we'll need sponsorship.
because it was an embarrassment of riches, right? Like, every year we kinda grew a double-digit percentage, but
Yeah,
our team did not grow
right.
except for the last year, so thankful for Kim C. Lee,
Yeah.
children's author, extraordinary human being,
Mhm.
who just knocked it out of the park with, um,
The children's
juggling and
section.
organizing all the
Yeah.
children's stuff, and that really saved us the grand finale year.
It really
Um,
did, and, we had the poets,
yeah.
the,
Oh, EC
easy
Poetry and
poetry and
Prose.
prose with
Yeah.
Patty Little Pie Ross,
Yeah.
and our lovely,
Poet
poet
laureate.
laureate
Yeah.
Aressa, which I'm gonna get to in just a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it was a really good event. We liked bringing you that event. We know some people just really love that event, but it won't come back in the incarnation that it's been because Card and I realized that we like working together without we've tried to build a bigger team and we liked working with Kim,
Yeah.
but it just is too hard to grow the team. And we're
Yeah.
just like, well, we already work well together. We'll just keep it smaller. So if we
'Cause I
ever do,
think we had gotten to the point where also we have our shorthand, and we're so fortunate
right,
that the way we communicate, Kim actually she organically was like, "I get you all," and we're
right.
so fortunate with that,
And we
but
know what each of our jobs are
yeah,
now. Like, you know what your jobs are, and I know what mine are,
yeah,
and we don't have to talk about it much. We have
right,
regular meetings, but we don't have to talk about it a lot. And that
yeah.
just makes it, um, less difficult. But we get burnt ourselves out. So we're just doing
Yes,
this
yes, we
small
did.
event,
Yes,
100% volunteer time on our part. We already have tablecloths and decorations for the info booth
right,
because we have everything for that.
yes,
And it'll be a different setup. People will be responsible for bringing their own pop-ups and their own tables and their own chairs and stuff so that we can keep our staff to a very minimum. But it'll be free to participate. And like I said, there we are accepting author applications right now. It's on the Right Women Book Fest website under the tab that says right women in fiction.
mm,
So you can go, the link to apply to that is on there. And about Aressa, who is our poet laureate, she has been hopping around and doing
yes.
readings, filled with to filled rooms with
Yes,
her
yes,
book
the
in
most
Deanwood.
recent at Anne Arundel Community College,
Yep.
for their, Black History Month programming with Professor April Copes, who was so lovely in supporting and inviting her, and the students couldn't have been more welcoming and engaging, and they asked great questions, and they were so attentive. It was a really good event.
Yeah, and her book is lovely. You should go check it out. It's in Deanwood. It's about her growing up. It's a memoir about her growing up in the Deanwood area of DC,
Yeah,
and it's delightful. It's atmospheric.
yeah.
Uh,
It's
it's
really immersive.
it's immersive.
It's
I love it.
funny, it's sad, it's
Relatable.
poignant. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Poetry and prose.
Mhm. It's just
People have
very
just
well
really
done,
been enjoying it.
and my husband and I, Will and I had the good fortune to edit and, finalize her cover and, all those kinds of things and help her distribute it and format it and distribute it and all that through our author services, Right Women Publishing. And, we just finished did I tell you we just finished,
Mm.
Dr. Denise, uh, let's see, what is the name of the book again? Because okay, I want to get it right because I keep saying love first instead of hope first. Hope,
Yes.
love, and prison: women's stories of isolation and resilience. I keep wanting to say love, hope, and prison, and I
Yes.
know in my brain
As
it's
a
stuck that
default,
way.
your default is always love first.
That's right. That's what it
Yes,
is.
yes.
By Dr. Denise Braxton Brown Hollingsworth, who is a lovely person that we met through one of our workshops that we were doing at Marietta, and it too is a memoir. And we just finished editing that and updating the cover and distributing it and formatting it and all that stuff through our author services, Riot Women Publishing. So that was exciting. I mean, those
Yeah.
are two really good news,
Yeah.
exciting things, is that
Yeah.
Aressa's book is doing so well, and we are
Yeah.
so proud to have been a part of it. And
Yeah.
we just finished Denise's book, and it's out there, and people can get it on most platforms.
Yeah.
And let's see.
What else is on your list? This feels like so much good news.
There is so much good news. And let's see, the time. This is little news, but I wanted to share it with the
Yeah.
plus size girlies with wide feet. I found two pairs of shoes that fit me and are comfortable. I'm not going to give the names out just yet because I want to
Okay.
try them a little bit first. But
Okay.
I was so excited the other day because Will
Was it
was
an
home.
in-person store or was it online?
It was online. I
Okay.
almost exclusively shop online
I
anymore.
got you. That's why I asked.
But it was online, and I got them directly from their website, I think.
Okay.
And it's a pair of booties,
Mhm.
like chukka
Yeah.
boots, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And then the other is a pair of like Mary Jane sort of shoes, but with a little
Mm.
bit of a heel. And they
Yeah.
have kind of like a 1930s, 1940s
I
flair
love
to
it.
them.
I love a
They're
throwback.
and both of them are soft and they
Mm.
bend well, and their
Mm.
bottoms don't slip. And I was like, I'm going to wear these
Right.
at least once time each before I
Yeah.
start singing their praises.
Right. That makes sense.
But that was exciting because they came in and I tried them both. I was like, well, I have two pairs of shoes that fit and work and they don't hurt my feet.
Yeah.
And when you have a wide foot as a woman, it can really diminish the amount of
Right.
shoes that
Your
you
yeah.
can
Your
find.
options are more limited.
Yeah, and you're not even supposed to talk about it because wide foot is like saying you're fat, and
Yeah.
fat's bad, and it's like a whole thing, and it's dumb. And so we're normalizing women with wide feet. I've
Yeah.
had two babies. I am in my 50s. I'm
Yeah.
allowed to have wide feet, and it's
Yes.
allowed to be fine.
Because
I'm
your feet
still
are your feet.
sexy.
Your feet are your feet. And also, like, you want options. Like, you want cute, you want sexy, you want practical, you want, like, and again,
I can't wear a tall, slippy,
right,
ankle breaking shoe. I just can't
right,
do it.
right.
So that was little good
No,
news,
but
but
that's exciting. Things
bit
that work.
bigger good news
Yeah.
is I started a community on a
Mm,
platform called School, Skool.
yeah.
It's called Wild Spirits Journaling, and
Mhm.
I'm teaching like art and creative journaling. So it's like you're learning how to watercolor, you're learning how to transfer images with packaging tape,
Okay.
you're learning how to
Oh,
decoupage and collage, and to draw, and to kind of, some of it's going to be technical, like
okay.
how do you mix watercolors, or what's the difference between gouache and watercolor or
Okay.
pastel or whatever.
Yeah.
So some of it's going to be technical artsy stuff, but some of
Yeah.
it's going to be like coming as you are and showing up imperfectly and freeing up your creativity. A lot of people are afraid, and I've been there, afraid to put that first bit of paint down or glue that first
Right.
thing down because you just feel like you're going to mess it up or whatever.
Right.
And so some of it's that creative outlet, but I'm also going to have workshops that are journal specific for things like full moon magic,
Mm.
manifestation, and grief, and how to world building for authors, where you have a journal where you build the world that you're
Okay.
trying to create for
Yeah.
a novel.
Yeah.
So I have all these various ideas that I want to do for that, but it's $3 a month.
Okay.
I thought if I could get enough people in there, I could do this more regularly and
Yeah.
teach this, which is
Yeah.
I love doing. I love
Yeah.
teaching art and passing on. I've been an artist most of my life, but I've been doing art professionally for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So I have some skills that I can
Yeah.
share, and I would love to share them. And that is something I love doing, and it's fun. And it's for me, journaling has been, I'm not a clinician, I'm not a
Mm.
therapist,
Right. Right.
but it's been therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
I gratitude journal, which has helped me with my anxiety. I uh, do journaling about body positivity and body
Mm.
acceptance and being plus size and accepting, myself. I've done journaling about, I did couples journal with my husband when we had a rough patch. Like journaling itself has just, it's a good outlet. It also record, like there's things sometimes you just want to hold on to. So one aspect I like of this kind of journaling is there's also something called junk journaling, which I
Mm.
hate that term.
Right.
I like to say scrap or smash
Okay.
journaling.
Okay.
But what it is you just like collect things. I have things I collect, birthday cards,
Mm.
Valentine's cards,
Mhm.
candy wrappers, like a scrap of paper from a ticket of something I went to or a
Mhm.
program from a show I saw. It could be anything really. It could just
Yeah.
be, I'm like a magpie, any shiny object, or I might have, a piece of jewelry that has
Mm.
I'm missing that earring for years and I'm never going
Right.
to find it, but I like that earring.
Right.
You can make something that goes in
Right.
your
Right.
journal or your
Right.
smash
Oh, I like
journal.
that.
So I'm going to be, I have these like huge vintage suitcases just loaded with the other one of the other things I really like is wrapping paper. Really beautiful. Somebody
Mm.
wraps my stuff in really beautiful
Yes.
wrapping paper. I've
Yes.
always my whole life had a hard time getting rid of it.
Yes. Yeah.
And throw it just feels wrong.
Yeah.
So, just there's just so many things. So I'll be going over things that people can keep and scrapbook with and or scrap journal with. And
Yes.
it's a lot more it's a kind of a shorthand for scrapbooking. It's not as
Mm.
rigid and
Right.
set as scrapbooking.
Right.
Still lets you keep the memories and work through thoughts and feelings and things like that. And plus, there's this really sensual side of me. I like vintage nudes and things like that, like
Mm. Mhm.
antique nudes,
Right.
of women just being wild and naughty and free. And I like incorporating some of those into my work as well. So there'll probably be a journal project that is related to that. Sometimes it'll be whole journal, sometimes it'll be
Right.
just a page or a challenge. So
I like that.
that is something. So if you're interested in something like that, people can come to the skool.com and look for wild spirit.
Will you put that link
I'll put
in
the
the
link. Yeah,
okay.
wild spirit journaling.
Okay.
And I already have, I think, 6 people. So I just started it last week. So I'm excited about
That's
that.
great. Congratulations. Oh, that's well, this has
Yeah,
been all good
I
news.
know. And then you had, what was the other books? I wanted to hear about these other
Oh,
books you're working on. So you'd already talked about your
yeah.
contemporary polyamorous erotic
Yeah, so the
romance.
polyamorous one I'm really excited about 'cause that's probably what I'm gonna pursue launching first because it's complete. I'm gonna do one more kinda like tweaking read through, but it's so interesting. I don't know what your personal kind of strategy is, how you know you're at the end. Because I know there's some people that like, outline and blah, and it's gonna be, and then this is the end. And I'm not so much like that. I'm more of a pantser. Like I have an idea, I have some characters, and then I start. Um, and then usually I write, and as I'm writing, I'm like, oh, okay, I think this is how it's gonna ultimately evolve and conclude. And then I usually my first drafts are by hand, I'm old school, and then I'm usually like, "Oh, I think this is the end," and then when I do the first data entry one, I'm like, "Okay, you little tweaks, blah, blah, blah," and then, of course, the rewrites and the rewrites and the rewrites. So, that's a whole to say that polyamorous, um, erotic novel is a done deal, and then the other 2 ideas I have a speculative near future novel that's more um it has darker themes than what I usually write. It has romantic elements, but it's not particularly a romance.
Hmm.
Um and it's my take on a world in which so often the powers that be are like, oh, black people should just go back where they came from. And so it's like, oh, well, what if that were to happen? What if one day all the black people disappeared from And somebody else has written something similar, and I've got it on my to read because I'm curious about what their take on is. It has elephant in the title because I saw like a book talker. I caught the tail end of her talking about it. I was like, "Oh, I have to add that too." So that just reminded me I need to get that from the library and figure out. But from what the book talker said, I was like, I think this person's take is different than mine, but I'm
Mm.
curious about theirs. But anyway, so that's that. And then the other one is a rom-comish, more funny thing where it's the caregiver of a parent who breaks free and goes wild. So, and I've been having fun working on that one.
It's like
As
girls' night out, but for caretakers.
yes, but so as a caregiver of my parents, I know that I'm working through things, but I'm doing it from the funny, more outlandish thing because I'm not usually a rom-com writer myself, but I wanna this is how I'm working out. And let me say this, my parents are great, but for people who are caregivers of their parents or a parent or anybody,
Right.
day in and day out,
Yeah.
it's emotionally and physically taxing
Even being
even.
married can be a lot,
Yes, 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 yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, no, I think that caregivers, are often overlooked
Yeah.
because, again, aging is something that people don't focus on in this society, and
No,
then you hit a
or at
certain.
least not in a good way, not in a
Mhm.
healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. Actually, you have a very good sense of humor, so I
Thanks.
think it's gonna be great. I think Cardyn can always make me laugh right when I need it.
Thank you,
My
that's a
husband
great
loves it.
compliment.
My husband, Mr. Brooks, loves it when Mr. Heather Brooks loves it when Cardyn comes over because he knows I'm gonna be so happy, in
That
such a
always
good mood
touches
when
me
she
that that's his
leaves.
attitude. That always touches me. But, laugh or cry.
Yeah.
Laugh or
I
cry,
mean,
and, like, I choose to laugh. So,
uh,
but yeah, so that's what's going on. I've just I know it's so challenging times, but I just feel really hopeful because I feel like even in these challenging times, so many people are stepping up,
mhm,
for their neighbors and for strangers. And
mhm.
if there are so many people that are saying, no, this is not acceptable. This is not who we want to be. This is not who we aspire to be. We want to be the best version of ourselves. We want to treat other people the way, we want to be
There are
treated.
2 good stories I saw come out of Minneapolis, and I don't have I'll
Oh,
have to get a
okay.
link to
Okay.
do it, but one of them is about a place called about these people called Haven Watch who
Mm,
stand outside the Whipple building, and when
mhm,
they release people
mhm.
without their coats and without their
Oh gosh.
belongings and no
Mm,
phone, they are there to put a blanket around them and give them
mm.
a ride, put them in a
Oh,
warm car, give them
okay.
something to eat. So that's one thing that is developed outside of the Whipple just by
Mm. Yeah,
naturally
yeah, yeah.
wanting to support your neighbors. And the other one is a story that I heard, I believe I saw it on Aaron Parnas's TikTok, that a tow truck driver has been just for free going around and towing the vehicles that have been left by people
Oh,
who've
right, because when the
been
people
taken
get kidnapped.
and towing them to their homes,
Oh, wow.
for
Oh, that's
free. So,
fantastic.
yeah, so again, I
Mm.
don't have
Okay,
sources
yeah,
right now. I'll have to
yeah.
cite the sources in
Okay,
the below, and if I have
yeah.
any corrections, I'll make them. But
Okay.
those were 2 really, and I feel like Minneapolis, it makes me I mean, when Kamala was running with Walls, I just liked Walls, and I was like, he's like the dad that all got, that all of us needed, and, I was really looking forward to learning all about Minnesota, and
Yeah,
I feel like we're learning about Minnesota and
yeah,
what great people they are,
yeah,
so I'm so proud to be just in the United States with Minnesota. So we're proud of
yeah,
you, Minnesota. We're
yeah,
proud of you, Minneapolis.
yeah,
Thank you for all that you're doing to show us the light and light the way,
yeah,
and being good, showing what being a good neighbor really is, and what
yeah,
being an American really is. So
yeah.
those are the stories that I really like.
Mm.
Have you been on any trips recently?
Um, I have not, but what are I have friends that are trying to plan something. Um, Sidebar. So last summer, being a caregiver, so last summer I had a friend who invited me. She was staying at a Bayside house um, in Delaware, and she invited me to come. And I said, I think we've reached the point where I can't be gone for overnight from my parents. And she's like, well, bring them. Because we're high school besties. We're
Uh-huh.
friends since high school, which was a long time ago. And I said to my parents, I said, "Do you want to go to the beach?" And they're like, "Yeah." So we went, and we had a great time. So these other friends that want to plan a trip, I'm like, if it's overnight,
Mm-mm.
we're gonna have some senior citizens with us if you want me to go. And again, more besties from um, high school and young adulthood. So like, okay, so we don't know where we're going, but it's probably gonna be me,
I
my
love
friend.
this image in my head because your parents are delightful,
My parents are
and I
fun.
just love this vision, and that I'm getting in my head.
Yes,
The
my
three of you
parents.
partying.
Yes, my parents. They're always game. So I will tell one last funniest thing about partying with my parents.
So
So
what's going
years
on?
ago when my one of my cousins was engaged and we did her bachelorette party, it ended up being like a 12-hour bachelorette party because it started at my other cousin's fabulous home.
You
You know,
guys know
about
how
a
to
dozen
party.
women. Yes. And then we ended up going to a adult toy party after the bachelorette
I love
party
those, by the
at my
way.
yes. So we were, because it was in a different state than Maryland. So we my cousins were like, "Do you think your mom will want to go?" I'm like, "Sure, let's invite her." I was like, "Mom, you want to go to this adult toy party?" She's like, "Sure, as long as I don't have to drive." So we go, and of course, my mom is the most senior person there, but you know, she's game, she's playing the game, she's whatever. And so my two cousins were like, "We knew your mom was like, you know, a cool person, but we didn't know she was that cool." So then we went from the adult toy party, we went back to my cousin's house, and we ended up having like a sleep like a slumber party because we were a smaller group by then. Not all 12 people went to the toy party. But yeah, so my mom's like, "Oh, that was fun." She's like, "I don't want to buy anything because I don't want people to know all my business." So, you know, that's that's how that goes. That's how, so yeah, that's my life.
Oh, wow. That
Never.
sounds like a delightful freaking weekend. I'm
It
telling
was a
you.
great batch. I tell my like so my cousin now,
I'm
because she's
not
in,
having enough fun,
yeah.
Cardyn. That's my
I'm gonna say like
it's finding you. Fun is just finding you.
yes, 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 and because my mom is a magnet for fun. She's very. I will say this. So one of the many great inheritances from my mom is that she is always unapologetically herself. She's not a showboat. She's just like, this is who I am, take me or leave me, but this is who I am. I'm just going about my business. And when I was younger, it was sometimes it could be frustrating for me as a as a young person, but it has always been a great role model for me,
Mm,
that to just be
mm,
yourself and whoever's for you is for you.
yeah.
And that's carried me through in a lot of really good ways. So, and
Mm,
but she is fun. But yeah.
mm. Well, for those listening that do not know this, you're an inventor.
Oh, yes. And the inventor. I'll do the short version, which is um so you see I have a lot of hair. And when I swim laps, most traditional or standard swim caps actually aren't even big enough to accommodate it. I have a big head and big hair, so that's a double whammy. And as a result of being a person
You've got
who
star quality.
who lives a sedentary life because I'm a writer of things like that, I was like, oh, I want to start swimming laps again. Because when I was in my teens and early 20s, I used to swim laps at least 2 or 3 times a week, and then but the chlorine wrecked my hair, so I stopped for about 10 years or so, maybe more. And I was like, you know what? I want to start swimming again. And I thought it was the early 2000s. I was like, well, surely at this point, there's a swim cap. And there was not. So that led me on my inadvertent indie inventors journey, and now I've got Swim Mission Swim Cap, which is at the prototype stage. But I will say this, which is sometime between now and Memorial Day. Um, I won't say the name of the newspaper because maybe they don't want me to say it. So, but between now and Memorial Day weekend, there will be a local paper that's planning to do an interview with me, and there'll be more there. So we'll see, because
So
as Heather
deserved,
knows, because
though.
she's known me since 2019,
Yeah.
I can I could do it by myself, but I really don't want to. I need help. So I'm hoping that the article will help
And
get some
some of the
eyes
bigger
on me.
sporting companies don't seem that interested in helping Black athletes. I have to say, I'm very sorry to say that.
Yeah. And also the
Um,
swimming part, because the nitty-gritty of it is our drowning rates are 2 to 3 times higher than all other ethnic groups.
mhm.
And I feel like that's unacceptable and it's unnecessary.
Mhm.
Like, but we know for Black and brown girls and women, our hair is an issue, and it's not frivolous, because if it were frivolous, then we wouldn't need the Crown Act to protect our right to have our hair in its natural state. So it's layered.
Mhm.
Um, Cultural entrenched ideas that Black people don't swim, but that's actually not true, because we know, especially on the West Coast, that the Black surfing tradition, and it's just a whole
Right.
bunch.
And you've told me the story about approaching specific people and being like, I have this swim cap,
Mhm.
and they'll be like, well, but Black people don't swim. And you're
Yeah,
like, I
right,
swim. And
right.
they're
They
like,
say
yeah,
that to
but
me.
I
They
swim.
say, "Black women don't swim," and I'm like, they are saying that to me, the Black woman
Yes.
who invented a swim cap so I can swim without getting my hair wet.
So
So I'm like,
hopefully,
"Ay, ay,
I
ay."
can't wait for that article to happen. Please
Thanks.
let us know
I'll
when it
keep you
does, and I
posted.
will throw a link, and we'll have a little mini chat about it
Okay.
on the pod, because I think it's exciting, and I've been rooting for you, and I think that um, some of these bigger sporting companies are really missing out, and they really should pay attention and support you. That's what I think.
Thank you. I know that you're biased, but I feel the love and I accept it and appreciate it. And
It's
here's the
patented. I mean, it's not
yeah.
like you just drew
Yeah,
something on a
yeah,
napkin and
I
were like,
know.
somebody. No, you have gone through the entire you've gone to
Mm,
business incubators, you've
mm,
gone to all kinds of things
yeah.
over the years, and it's not. This is a well vetted, professional product that.
Thank you, friend cheerleader. Yeah. So, but also my quiet moments, what I tell myself is, what's for me is for me. So
Mhm.
the person or company or investor or whatnot, I just have to cross their paths. So everything that doesn't work out, I just check off the list as that wasn't meant to be. But some days I'm just like, ay, ay, ay. And, on my days I tell myself, I'm like, well, sometimes maybe I make a way for somebody else. But
Mhm.
so we'll see. So I try to be glass half full about it. Um,
And
and
supporting athletes is important, especially
another,
women athletes,
I
because
know,
women win all the gold.
I know. At least what's that? Um, 8 of the 12.
I'm
So
going to read this statement from
yeah,
Slate. Okay.
yeah,
This
yeah.
Slate article was written 2 days ago. This is just a snippet from
Okay,
it.
yeah.
I'll put the link in the description. While it was a great winter games for Team USA by pretty much every measure, it was especially great for the women of Team USA. America's female Olympians were responsible for, or partially responsible for, in the case of mixed team events,
Hmm.
21 of those 33 medals and 8 of those 12 golds. American women won as many gold medals as the entire nations of Germany, France, and Sweden, and as many overall medals as Canada. So maybe there's a Black swimmer in there somewhere
Yeah.
that will hear about this, and
Mm.
she will want your swim cap. So
Yeah. Well,
that's
thank you for that good energy. So, I'm just gonna keep plugging along. But I think the month of February, even for as many challenging things have happened, I just have felt a good vibe because it does feel like maybe, the darkness before the sunrise in a lot of ways.
Mm, okay.
So it
Yeah.
feels like
I
good stuff
I
on the
I also
horizon.
think that, like, I don't want I think there's a fear of getting things being normalized or just getting numbed or used to things,
Mhm.
whereas really what we're doing is we're adapting to finding our joy
Mhm.
in the middle of all
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
And that is important part of, surviving these
Yeah.
trying times, as you have been
Yeah.
calling it. And I'll tell you one thing that got me very emotionally worked up
Mhm.
in a good way
Yeah.
was those monks walking for peace.
Mm. Mhm.
Their Instagram, which is at walksforpeace.usa. No,
Mhm.
wait, monks for peace USA. I don't know. I'll put it down in the thing. I
Mhm.
think I put walks for peace, but I don't think that's right. I think it's monks for peace.
No, but I think it is correct because I think before you hit record, you kept looking up monks for peace or
Uh-huh.
monks for, and you were like, it says that doesn't exist. I think you're
I'll put it in the
okay.
thingy, but I've watched their Instagram multiple times, and there's a lot of bits and pieces to it. But when
Mhm.
they're walking down the road and
Mhm.
people are handing them flowers and they're
Mhm.
handing or they're touching
Mhm.
people on the
Yes, yes.
head,
Yeah.
or I'm just like sobbing
Yeah.
because it's like a balm for your your scorched soul right now. Like it was I'm not Buddhist, and
Right,
I don't
right, right,
follow
right,
anybody that's
right.
Buddhist, but they're just the purpose of it, just peace, and people that needed that message lined up along the roads, and the monks just going by and touching them, and children, like, with their heads bowed, and people just like, it was just, there's something,
Friends of
I
ours went, yeah.
go to their Instagram. I'll put the thingy in
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Go to their Instagram and go specifically to those videos of
Mhm.
them walking down the streets past people. Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Right here. Because
Yeah.
you're right here every time. And it's beautiful. And my daughter, Jade, um, did get to see them in person because she's in Virginia.
Oh,
And she
nice.
just, right before their very last day, the
Yeah.
next to the last day, she got
Yeah.
to see them and see them go by. And she sent me a little recording because she knew that I'd been watching them and was
Yes.
excited about that. But I'm also going to go down just before we close out.
Yes.
Do you have anything else to share?
No.
Okay. Um, well, it would be good if you did, because this is all good news.
It's
So
all good news, but look, we have so much good news.
I'm just going to go down. There was a Instagram I found called Good 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 Co.
Mm,
Again, I'll put that in the thing too.
okay.
Good 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 Co on Instagram, and they had this, like, just like they have just all good news stories.
Oh,
And so
nice.
here's just a little rundown of
Okay.
some of those news stories.
Yeah.
Alana Myers Taylor makes history as the oldest individual to win a gold at the Winter Olympics.
I
So,
think she's the one where there's the cute picture where it's her kids and the nanny, and they're
oh,
like, "Oh, it's so
I didn't
stinking
see it.
cute. Oh, it's the
I'll go
cutest."
look it up.
It's,
I'll go
oh,
look
it's
it up.
just because what it makes. I mean, of course, because the kids hugging their mom, who's
Mhm.
but the nanny too. It's like, oh, that's the support system.
Uh-huh.
Like to me, that just was so touching.
So if it's the same woman, she's
Yeah.
the oldest one so far,
Okay. Nice.
gold winner.
Yeah.
Federal judge orders Trump administration to restore slavery
Hmm.
exhibit at George Washington's former home in Philadelphia, which was taken down to much objection to people
Yeah.
standing by, and the workers didn't seem to
Yeah.
be wanting to do it either because they
No.
didn't look like they were
No.
too happy
And I
doing
was
it.
so glad when they were putting it back up, like that it didn't get destroyed or damaged or anything,
Yeah,
because that was the other thing I was worried about
yeah.
even before the verdict, from the judge was that the ruling from the judge is like, please don't have destroyed it or,
Hmm.
vandalized it or anything.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that got ordered to be put back up, and is being restored.
Yeah.
Florida biologists at the Gulf Specimen Marine Lab rescued and rehabilitated over 600 cold stunned sea turtles,
Mhm.
which are lovely. And in
Mhm.
Maryland, we love a terrapin.
Yes, yes, yes.
Almost all
Like
of them
it's like
have
a
been.
law. If you live in Maryland, it's like
I don't think they're the same kind of turtle, but we
no,
love
but
turtles in
yes.
Maryland. Almost all of them have been released back into the wild, so that's good turtle news on the turtle front, all you turtles out there.
Yes. And people who
Uh,
love turtles and sea life and all that, there's
yeah,
this great newsletter from Water Lust, and they deal with like all things oceanic and preservation and things like that. And they have a weekly newsletter that usually just takes like a couple minutes to read. And it's
Waterlust.
uh-huh. And if you sign up for their newsletter, you'll get like every Sunday, I think, you get kind of like a little overview
Okay,
of,
I love
of
that.
like good news and interesting things about the ocean.
I
And
love these curated good news things. It's just like, oh, I needed that little dose of
yes,
serotonin.
yes.
And then John and Hank Green raised $4.1 million in 48 hours on their
Wowza.
on their annual charity live stream. $4.1 million.
Wowza.
Half of the money goes to charities that the viewers voted on, and the other half goes to the charities that they've been long-term partners with for Project for Awesome, which is at projectforawesome.com.
Wowza.
I wonder if it's .com or .org.
Okay.
No, it looks like it's at .com.
Mm.
And I love Hank and John Green. My youngest daughter Jade was a huge John Green fan when she was younger, and we went to the National Book
Festival? No?
Festival. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
couldn't think of the word festival.
That's it.
The National Book Festival back when it was still outside on the
Mhm.
mall,
Mhm.
and he had come to that, and his line was so long, and she had a Kindle back when Kindles were kind of new,
Mhm.
and I was like, what is he going to sign? So he signed her Kindle, and then I like sprayed it and covered
Oh,
it, and so she had that for a long time. She may still have it.
right.
But she got to meet John Green, who was great, and then later his brother Hank Green. I mean, she'd been watching the Green brothers for a long time,
Mhm.
but then they just kind of it became more of a thing for her to watch regularly. And Hank Green and John Green have been great, and they've raised $4.1 million. You should go check out their project for awesome. Um, Stay awesome. Uh,
Oh, I love
so
that.
yeah. So that's a lot of good news. I think that I feel a lot better doing
Yeah.
this, and I hope everybody feels better listening to this.
Yes.
And plus Cardyn and I love spending time together, and that also
Yes.
makes this lovely. We are looking for podcast sponsors. If you have a company that would like to support our podcast, you think you line up nicely with publishing and editing and
Mhm.
feminism and anything
Yeah.
that works for the Bitchy Quill, reach out to
Yeah.
us at the Right Women Book Fest at gmail.com. You can also find information about projects that we're working on our Instagram at the Right Women Book Fest, and we're also on Threads. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's we'd love to bring you all the Bitchy Quill content. And if, by the way, you have something you'd like us to bitch about, send us a note. We'll see. We'll see how mad it makes us.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love that.
So, I mean, sometimes you don't want to bitch about the thing yourself, and you need a person you can vicariously bitch through. And
That's right.
we're
A
up to that.
surrogate bitcher.
A surrogate bitcher. That's right. That's what we are. And so we're
Sorry.
on the job. We're on the job. But our thing is normally we do tackle a subject, we complain and bitch about it, and then we tell you solutions,
Right.
because just
Right.
getting out there and just complaining about
Right.
things doesn't do anything. It
Right.
just pollutes the air.
Right.
So
So we brainstorm.
yes, we brainstorm and we try to figure out what is a good way to approach a
Yeah.
thing. And
What are some options?
it's just options. That's all it is. It's options, especially if you're like us and you want action. You want to
Yeah.
do action. You don't just want to complain and marinate in your misery.
Yeah.
You want to say this is wrong and this is how we can approach it, and
Yeah.
or this is a problem and this is some solutions, and that's what we're about. And we hope to see you come by. I don't think all of our episodes are. This is a particularly long episode. Also, we're probably going to be doing it like this for a while because I have a studio that I've been working on getting together, and I had it very close together, but then something happened and I had to fill it up with things, with a family member's thing. So that's not going to happen for a little while. So we'll just do it like this for a while, and it's fine. It's fine. It actually gives us the freedom to talk as long as we want to, and it just records easily. So, but at some point we will have that. We have our dream studio together, and we will record on that. But for now, this is how you get us, and that's okay. And we're happy to be here, and we're happy to bring you publishing news from a feminist publishing news from a feminist perspective.
Perspective.
There we go. I did it.
Yay!
Yay. All right. You don't have anything to say? That's it. You're all done? She's like, I'm all done. Peace out. Peace out. Okay. So, all right. Talk to you later. Bye.